Good morning world, and welcome back to the Westerveld. I'm Westwood Archer, and it's early morning, not quite 9 o'clock yet. I've been out for roughly an hour. Thankfully the drizzle has stopped. Just incredible. I was just set up just behind the camera here for about a 30-40 yard shot, just knocking the arrow, and 3 white-tailed deer ran right in front of the stump that I'd chosen to shoot on. I wish I'd had the camera running. Man, that was incredible. It's so quiet in here. Let's say the wildlife is still about. The boar have disappeared, thankfully. You don't want to meet those in the forest. They can be a bit nasty. Anyway, right, why are we here today? Apart from roving, the kind people at a company called Goblin Snot have sent me one of their products to try out. Now, Goblin Snot are a new concern, a new company on the market, and they are going to be producing a range of adhesives which are specific to archery. You could use them for other things, but that's what they're meant for. Now, I've had on and off problems with glues and adhesives. Knocks don't tend to be a problem, and I'm speaking more about obviously wooden arrows there. But when it comes to carbon arrows, and sometimes even the wooden ones, the points or the inserts can be problematic. Now, my arrows go through a really hard life. The majority, I think, of what I do shooting wise is stumping. Some of the stumps are nice and soft. Some of them you find out after you've shot your arrow are not so soft. In fact, they're hard as rock. And occasionally you will hit rocks as well, and they really do get a good workout. And there's nothing more annoying than when you're in the middle of the forest, or it could be halfway around a 3D course, anywhere, to be perfectly honest, and you end up with an insert pulling out of your carbon shaft, or you end up with a loose point on a wooden arrow. Anyway, I spoke to Lee Ankers, who is the driving force behind Goblin Snot, and he said, great, yeah, I'll send you some and you can try it out. And this is it here. Basically, let's hope I'll get this on the camera. You can see that's just what looks like a normal hot melt glue stick, but green. It fits standard glue guns. As I say, this is from Goblin Snot, and they've very cleverly called this Snotmelt glue rather than hot melt glue. So I decided, and I told Lee at the time I was going to put it really through its paces, and he said, sure, do what you want. So I did. Obviously the first thing I wanted to try out was my stumping arrows, which I have here. This is the Gold Tip Warriors with my favoured judo points on, and a few times I've had the inserts pull out, and I've tried a couple of different glues. So decided to do these first of all. Glued them up as per normal. In fact, I've probably used slightly less glue of this than the normal stuff I use. For anybody who's ever done it, you know you get the excess squidge out the end, and there wasn't much of a roll to take off once it had dried. So that's one good point. I thought it didn't need as much glue. And then, naturally, I went off and shot these, and without incident. I thought, okay, fine, fair enough, that's working okay, but I've had similar from other glues. So I thought, right, what can I do to see how good this stuff actually is? Now, the first test I did was I froze the tip. I actually put it in a freezer. I have a big freezer, and I froze it, okay, and then I tried to pull. Nothing. Really gave it a good hard pull with pliers, tried twisting it, nothing. Okay, it was still frozen at this point, so what did I do then? Whacked it on a hard surface to try and break any seal that was in there. Okay, bear in mind this is below zero now. Gave it another tug, nothing. It stayed put. Now that was very, very impressive, because a lot of these hot melt glues, they rely on their flexibility to grip the two surfaces you're gluing together. So that was basically the hardest test I could think of coming up with. So the natural progression after doing that was heat. Now obviously hot melt glue, if you heat it up too much, it is going to come out. But what is too much? Now this was slightly unscientific, but the best I could come up with was putting it on a radiator at home, point down, on top of the radiator, with the radiator whacked right up for a good 20 minutes. And you could actually feel the heat in the shaft once I took it up. And again, it just did not move, folks. For those guys who have been following me over the last year or so will know I now run robinhood.com if you want to take a look. And I think I'm going to be using this stuff exclusively now. I cannot give it a better recommendation than that. Now I hasten to say I've had no financial inducement to say anything like this. Lee just sent me a couple of these sticks and said, see how you get on with it. And I left it to me to do a review, and that was my idea to do the review. So in no way have I got any connection to Goblin Snot, but if I can incorporate this in my business, you can be confident that these inserts are not going to move. Now I've got a couple of little bits of details, and with my mind being as it is, I've written it down so I don't forget anything. It's available in two lengths. This is the longer of the two, 200 millimeters, and it also comes in half this size. It's 12 mil, fits all standard glue guns, and then 200 mil long or half size 100 mil long, and that's £1.50 for the short one and £2.80 for the longer one. Okay, so not the cheapest out there, but from what I've seen and the amount of arrows I've put together, I cannot imagine you getting any better. Okay, and this kind of thing you shouldn't skimp on anyway, because as I say, if you go out in the forest and all your inserts pull out, that's it, your day's shooting is done. And quite sadly I've been in that situation, not good. So yeah, that's my review on the Goblin Snot Snotmelt sticks and how well they work, and they really do work well. They're doing other adhesive, the company Goblin Snot as well, epoxy resin and super glue and a couple of other bits and bobs. They're still in the process of setting up. Goblin Snot are on Facebook at the moment. I believe they're still setting up the website. You'll have to forgive me, Lee, for this one. I've forgotten the name of the website. But if I can, I'm going to get to stock these things through robinhoodarrows.com. So if anybody wanted to order some, I'm hoping they're going to be able to order it through me as well. And you're just going to have to trust me on this, guys. I'm not saying this because, I want to sell loads of these things. Even if I didn't sell or couldn't sell these things for whatever reason, I'd still recommend you get some, because it does the job, and that's what we want. Okay, that's enough of me rabbiting on for now. I'm in stump heaven, so I'm going to go off and enjoy it. We'll catch you guys next time on the internet. All the best for now. Any questions about anything related to archery, but especially the Goblin Snot Snotmelt, put it down the bottom here. If there's any details I've forgotten, I'll put it in the description. All the best for now, guys. Take care. I'm off shooting.